Okay, today we're going to be talking about a very inexpensive circuit that you can use in your robotic projects if you want to avoid hitting objects like walls or feet or whatever. In the front here we have this IR detection circuit you can buy. I found them like 5 of them for $5 with free shipping. You can pay more, of course. You can pay less. Just do a little looking around online, you'll find them. Basically, this clear one is an infrared emitter. It's sending out an infrared light, not at any frequency, just on all the time. And the dark colored one's the infrared receiver, and it's dark colored to block normal room light, make it only more receptive to the infrared. If I put my hand here, it detected it, and you saw this other LED on this light up at the time when it detected it. I've added a simple RC circuit here to give a longer duration. In other words, one quick detection, I wanted the motor to reverse for at least 4 to 5 seconds to give my robot or toy or whatever it is I'm going to do time to turn away from the wall. So we have sitting over here, you've seen many times on my channel, is a dual H-bridge driver, much like the MX1508 or the MX1615. There's simple ways of wiring it up, which actually you can see in this schematic. You run a wire from there to here and join these two together and tie that one to positive, and this then becomes your control line. So with a single control line going high or low, you can make a motor reverse, because normally you can't do that with a single line, but by doing a simple wiring change here you can. And what else? The RC circuit between the two, and taking the trigger out, it goes low when it's triggered. When it sees this, it's gone low. And I'm running that through a diode. And I've got a capacitor going up to V+. In this case, it's just 3 volts. And a 56K resistor on this control line going up to 3 volts. And by changing that capacitor, you can change how long it's going to run once triggered. Right now I've got a 100 UF in there, and it gives it roughly about 5 seconds longer than the detection. Now obviously it could sit here and run in reverse as long as it detects a problem indefinitely. But you start counting when you remove the obstacle. In other words, when this detection light goes out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to 5 seconds it's sitting at right now. Anywho, can't really provide links to these things because the seller's form always change, and people are going to watch this video 6 months, a year, 10 years later. So I mean, just based on their appearance, and I'll get them closer so you can see them. Here's this circuit here. Looks like that. So visually, if you see one that looks like that and it says IR detector, you'll know. And then the dual H-bridge driver, you should be familiar with. If not, you'll find other videos I've done on the channel showing how to use them. And then you can see how I just took a diode off the trigger out and ran it through here. Cathode end is going to be towards this device because I want the ground, this goes low when it's triggered. I want that low to come through to charge up the capacitor. And the capacitor, one side, the negative side is on the control line. The positive side is going up to the plus 3 volts. And there's a pull-up resistor of 56K in this case, which is required because unfortunately there's built-in pull-down resistors in the dual H-bridge, and I had to overcome that. Now there would have been better ways to do this, but unfortunately because this is surface mount, getting in here and trying to solder these pins is impossible. And you're going, well, why would you want to solder those pins? Well, in case you need it, this is the complete schematic for what's in that IR detector circuit. And I've actually labeled the same as what's labeled on the circuit board, all the parts, the pin numbers. And you'll notice that the normal 393 is a dual comparator, and they're only using half of it. So the half they're not using is this half down here. Pin 1 would be another output, and 3 and 2 would be your other inputs. They're not even using that half, and it's just left unused. That half of that comparator, which you can find on this, showing the chip layout, would be really nice for setting up a better RC control for stretching the pulse and everything. The only reason I didn't do that is because my eyes aren't that great and my soldering tip guns aren't that small. As you can see, based on the size of my finger, it'd be really hard to get in there and solder to. Basically, I need pin 1, pin 2, and pin 3. I could have tied that into the trigger output circuit of this and really made a very nice pulse stretcher that used smaller value caps. But not for these big bulky fingers. It gets a little too complicated dealing with the surface mount parts when they're that small.